The bread is stale again. I stare at the hard, moldy loaf in my hands, trying to decide if I can salvage enough to make a meal. If I cut away the green parts, soak the rest in water, maybe add the last of the work. It's all we have. My name is I'm 26 years old. I'm an Omega. I'm raising a child who doesn't follow the first part of the season. Cover me. I'm surviving. We're surviving. It's what matters. And I love, a small voice calls from the other room. I'm hungry. I know, sweetheart. I'm making breakfast. Tiny kitchen. One rickety table, 2 chairs I found in the alley, a small stove that works half the time, and a basin for washing that I have to fill by carrying the water up 3 flights of stairs from the communal pump. This is home. A cramped 2-room apartment in the low-town district of the capital. For the poor, the forgotten, and the desperate try to survive on scraps. 3 years ago, I lived in a decent apartment in a better neighborhood. I had a job as a teacher's assistant in a high school. I had friends. I had hope for the future. Then the war started. The Northlands conflict, they call it. A territorial dispute between what started as border skirmishes escalated into full war. Our Alpha King, Donovan Ashmore, led his warriors north to end the conflict once and for all. That was 9 years ago. As if broken, the ones who couldn't fight anymore. After 2 years of silence, the Council of Alphas declared King Donovan dead, named his younger cousin Victor Hill as until a proper succession could be established. And everything went to hell. Victor is corrupt, greedy, more interested in lining his own pockets than ruling justly. He raised taxes on the poor, cut support for widows and orphans, and turned a blind eye to the crime and poverty spreading through the city. I lost my teaching job when the school closed, no funding, lost my apartment when I couldn't pay the increased rent, lost everything except the one thing I couldn't bear to lose, Ethan. Aunt Isla, is breakfast ready? Ethan appears in the doorway, 4 years old, with wild dark hair that never stays combed, and eyes that are too knowing for a child his age, beautiful eyes, distinctive eyes, amber eyes with flecks of gold, the exact same eyes as King Donovan Ashmore, because Ethan is the king's nephew, the son of Donovan's younger brother who died in the war along with Ethan's mother, and I'm the only family he has left. Almost ready, little wolf. I force a smile, putting the salvaged bread in water to soften. Why don't you wash your hands? He scampers off to the basin. I watch him go, my heart clenching. He's so thin, too thin. I'm feeding him as much as I can, but there's only so much I can stretch our meager supplies. My job at the textile factory pays barely enough to cover rent and basic food. There's nothing left for extras. No toys, no warm winter clothes, no treats, just survival, day by day. Have you ever loved someone so much that you'd sacrifice everything to keep them safe? Even when it means giving up your own future? That's where I am. I could have given Ethan to an orphanage when his parents died, let the state care for him, found a better job, a better life for myself. But I couldn't, because I promised his mother, my best friend Sarah, that I'd protect him, that I'd make sure he was loved and safe. And because when I look into those amber eyes, I see Donovan. I see the king I loved from afar, the alpha I watched lead with strength and compassion, the man who didn't know I existed but who gave me hope just by being who he was. I never told anyone how I felt, never had the courage. I was just an Omega teacher's assistant. He was the Alpha King. But I can protect his nephew. I can make sure that at least one piece of Donovan survives, even if it costs me everything. Aunt Isla, the bread tastes funny, Ethan says, taking a small bite of the softened, herb-soaked bread I've managed to prepare. I know, sweetheart, but it's good for you. Eat as much as you can. He nods seriously and takes another bite. He never complains, never throws tantrums. He's learned at 4 years old that we don't have the luxury of being picky. It breaks my heart. After our meager breakfast, I get Ethan ready for the day. Mrs. Chen, our elderly neighbor, watches him while I'm at the factory. She doesn't charge much, just whatever I can spare. She's kind that way. Be good for Mrs. Chen, I tell Ethan, kneeling to button his worn coat. And stay inside. Don't go near the market. Why not? Because the market isn't safe right now. There are bad people. I know. You tell me every day. He wraps his small arms around my neck. I'll be good. I promise. I hold him tight for a moment, breathing in his little boy scent, dirt and soap and innocence. I love you, little wolf. Love you too, Aunt Isla. Mrs. Chen opens her door as I step into the hallway. Morning, Isla. Ethan, come here, child. I made porridge. Ethan's eyes light up. A real meal is a rare treat. He scampers over and I mouth thank you to Mrs. Chen. She just nods. She understands. We're all struggling down here. The walk to the factory takes 30 minutes, through streets that smell like sewage and despair, past beggars and homeless families huddled in doorways, past the brothels and gambling dens that Victor allows to operate because they pay him bribes. This is what the capital has become without Donovan, a festering wound that grows worse every day. I arrive at the factory just as the morning bell rings. 12 hours of mind-numbing work awaits, sewing uniforms for the city guard, sewing until my fingers bleed and my back screams, but it pays barely, just enough. Isla, you're late. The foreman, a cruel beta named Marcus, shouts across the factory floor. Sorry, sir, it won't happen again. See that it doesn't. I'm docking your pay for today. My stomach sinks. But, sir, I'm only 2 minutes. Rules are rules. Get to work. I bite back the protest and take my seat at the sewing machine. If I argue, he'll fire me, and I can't afford to lose this job. Around me, other Omegas and low-ranking wolves work in silence. We're all trapped here, all desperate, all one misstep away from starvation. This is what Victor has done to us. This is what happens when a greedy, corrupt man takes power, and there's nothing we can do about it. The king is dead, the warriors are dead, and we're forgotten. The day drags on. Hours blur together in a haze of aching fingers and numb exhaustion. Finally, the evening bell rings. I've made my quota, barely. My pay, already docked, will be even less this week. I'll have to skip meals again. Make sure Ethan eats. I can survive on less. I'm halfway home when I notice the crowd. People are gathered in the main square, all staring at something. Murmuring, some crying, some shouting. What's happening? I push through the crowd, trying to see, and then I see it. A proclamation, posted on the official announcement board. Hear ye, by order of Regent Victor Hale, all unclaimed children under the age of 5 shall be remanded to state custody for proper care and education. Families unable to provide adequate housing and nutrition must surrender their children to orphanages by week's end. Failure to comply will result in forcible removal and criminal charges. The world tilts. No. They're taking children from poor families, claiming it's for their own good. But everyone knows what this really is. Victor needs workers, cheap labor. Children raised in state orphanages will be indoctrinated, controlled, used. And Ethan fits the criteria perfectly. Unclaimed, living in poverty, with a guardian who can barely feed him. They'll take him. They'll take my little wolf, and I'll never see him again unless I run. I turn and sprint toward home. My lungs burn, my legs scream, but I don't stop. I have to get to Ethan, have to get him somewhere safe before Victor's enforcers come. But where? Where can we go? I don't have money for travel, don't have connections outside the city, I slam into someone. Hard. We both stumble. Watch where the voice stops. Deep. Male. Familiar in a way that makes no sense. I look up, and my world stops. The man standing before me is impossible. Tall, easily 6.5 feet. Broad-shouldered, built like a warrior. Dark hair, longer than it should be, tied back loosely. His face is all sharp angles and hard planes, marked by scars that speak of recent battles. He's wearing travel-worn clothes, a heavy cloak, weapons at his belt, but it's his eyes that steal my breath. Amber, with flecks of gold, the exact same eyes as Ethan, the exact same eyes as King Donovan. The name comes out as a whisper, disbelieving. He's dead. He's been dead for 3 years. This can't be. Not anymore. His voice is rough, like he hasn't used it properly in a long time. Just Donovan now. But it's him. It's really him. The Alpha King, alive, standing in front of me in a low-town street. You're alive, I breathe. How? Everyone said you were dead. The council declared I was captured, held prisoner in the Northlands for 3 years, escaped 2 weeks ago. His amber eyes scan my face, lingering on the dark circles, the hollow cheeks, the exhaustion I can't hide. Who are you? My voice breaks. I'm Isla Greywood. I knew your brother. I'm taking care of. Realization hits me like lightning. Ethan. Donovan doesn't know about Ethan. He was captured before his brother died. Before Ethan was born, he doesn't know he has a nephew, and I have to tell him right now, before Victor's enforcers come. You have a nephew, I blurt out. Your brother Marcus. He had a son before he died, Ethan. He's 4 years old, and I've been raising him in the slums. Because after they said you were dead, everything fell apart. And Victor, I'm rambling. Can't stop the words from tumbling out. Slow down. Donovan's hand settles on my shoulder, firm, grounding. My brother had a son? Yes, Ethan. I pull out the small photograph I always carry, the only one I have of Ethan, taken a year ago when things were slightly less desperate. Donovan takes it, stares at the image, and I watch his face transform. The hardness cracks. Something raw and painful breaks through. He has my eyes, he whispers. Yes, everyone who sees him knows. He's unmistakably an Ashmore. Where is he? At our apartment with a neighbor. But we can't stay there. Victor just posted a proclamation. He's taking children from poor families, claiming it's for their welfare, but everyone knows he's building a workforce. Donovan's expression goes cold. Dangerous. I've heard rumors about what Victor's been doing. Didn't want to believe them. It's all true. Everything you've heard. He's corrupt, cruel. He's destroying the pack. My voice breaks. I've tried to protect Ethan, tried to keep him fed and safe, but I'm failing. I can barely afford rent and food, and now they're going to take him, and I don't know what to do. Take me to him. It's not a request, it's a command. What? Take me to my nephew. Now. I nod and start walking. Donovan follows, his presence at my back solid and reassuring. The walk back feels surreal. I'm walking through Lowtown with the supposedly dead Alpha King, the man I thought I'd never see again, the man whose nephew I've been raising for 3 years. What happens now? Will he take Ethan? Will I lose the little wolf I've come to love as my own? The questions circle in my mind, but there's no time to process them. We reach my building, climb the 3 flights of narrow stairs to my apartment. I knock on Mrs. Chen's door. It's me. Is Ethan? The door opens. Ethan is standing there, still wearing his worn coat. Aunt Isla, you're early. Did you bring... He stops. His eyes land on Donovan. For a moment, they just stare at each other. Man and child, uncle and nephew, both with the same distinctive amber eyes. Hello, Ethan, Donovan says softly. His voice is gentle, careful. I'm your uncle, your father's brother. Ethan looks at me. And Isla? It's true, sweetheart. This is your Uncle Donovan. He's been away, but he's here now. Ethan studies Donovan with that too serious expression he gets sometimes. Then, without warning, he launches himself forward. Donovan catches him automatically, lifting the small boy into his arms. You have my eyes, Ethan says matter-of-factly. Aunt Isla says I got them from my papa, but papa died in the war. Your papa was my brother. We had the same eyes. Donovan's voice is rough with emotion. I'm sorry I wasn't here. I'm sorry you had to grow up without knowing me. It's okay. Aunt Isla took care of me. She's the best. Ethan wraps his thin arms around Donovan's neck. Are you really my uncle? I really am. Good. Aunt Isla says family is important. Now I have more family. Donovan looks at me over Ethan's head. His eyes are wet. Thank you, he mouths. I nod, my own throat too tight to speak. Mrs. Chen appears in her doorway, her eyes wide. She recognizes Donovan. Most people would. He was the king for 15 years before the war. Your Majesty, she breathes, bowing. Just Donovan, please. He sets Ethan down gently. Mrs. Chen, thank you for watching over my nephew. It was my honor. He's a good boy. She looks at me. Isla, you should go inside. There are enforcers in the area. The new proclamation. I know, we're leaving. I turn to Donovan. We can't stay here. If Victor finds out you're alive. He won't. Not yet. Donovan's expression is calculating. But you're right. We need to get you and Ethan somewhere safe. Do you have anything you need to pack? I laugh. It sounds bitter. Everything I own fits in one bag. Give me 5 minutes. We gather our meager possessions quickly. Ethan's few clothes, the photograph of his parents, my work uniform, the bread and dried herbs from this morning. That's it. That's our entire life. Ready? Donovan asks. Where are we going? Somewhere Victor can't reach you. I have allies. People who stayed loyal. We're going to them. And then what? His eyes harden. Then I'm taking back my kingdom and making Victor pay for what he's done. The safe house is in the old quarter, the abandoned district where buildings crumble and no one ventures after dark. But inside one of those crumbling buildings is a network of loyalists, people who never believed Donovan was dead, who've been waiting for his return. Your Majesty! A woman rushes forward as we enter. She's tall, maybe 50, with gray streaking her dark hair. You found them? I found them, Kira. Donovan nods toward me and Ethan. This is Isla Greywood. She's been raising my nephew. Kira's eyes widen when she sees Ethan. Goddess above, he looks just like Marcus. He has the Ashmore eyes, another man says, stepping forward. He's younger, maybe 30, with a warrior's build. There's no denying his bloodline. This is Captain Mikhail, Donovan introduces. My most trusted guard. He escaped with me from the Northlands. Mikhail bows to me. Miss Greywood, we owe you a debt we can never repay. Protecting the heir. Heir? I interrupt. What do you mean, heir? Donovan and Mikhail exchange a look. Ethan is my brother's son, Donovan says carefully, which makes him my heir, the next in line for the throne. The words hit me like a physical blow. No, he's just a little boy. He can't be, he's an Ashmore. And in the absence of any other direct bloodline, you're alive. You're the king. I'm a king who was declared dead, who's been gone for 3 years, who has enemies that will fight to keep me from reclaiming the throne. Donovan's expression is grim. Victor has consolidated power. He has the council in his pocket, the city guard loyal to him, If I try to take back the throne directly, it'll mean civil war. So what's your plan? Build support, gather evidence of Victor's corruption, present it to the people in the council, force them to acknowledge that Victor is unfit to rule. He pauses, and protect Ethan, because the moment Victor finds out he exists, he'll see him as a threat. He's 4 years old. He's the true heir. His bloodline is stronger than Victor's claim. Victor will kill him if he gets the chance. The blunt words make my blood run cold. Then we run. We take Ethan and we leave the city. No, Donovan's voice is firm. Running won't save him. Victor will. Hunt him down eventually. The only way to keep Ethan safe is to remove Victor from power. How long will that take? Weeks, maybe months. Depends on how quickly we can gather evidence and support. I look at Ethan. He's exploring the safe house with childlike curiosity, completely unaware of the danger swirling around him. I won't let anything happen to him, I say quietly. I've kept him alive this long. I'll do whatever it takes to keep him safe. I know. Donovan's hand settles on my shoulder. That's why I'm trusting you. You've proven you'll sacrifice everything for him. That makes you the most reliable person in this room. The weight of his trust settles over me, heavy, terrifying. But I meant what I said. I'll do whatever it takes for Ethan, for my little wolf. 2 weeks later, living in the safe house is strange. We have actual beds, warm blankets, food that isn't moldy or stale. Ethan is thriving. He's gained weight, his cheeks filling out. He smiles more, laughs, acts like a normal 4-year-old instead of a child who's learned to survive on scraps. And Donovan is wonderful with him. Every morning he trains with Mikhail and the other warriors. But every afternoon he spends time with Ethan, teaching him things, playing simple games, telling him stories about his father. Your papa was brave, Donovan tells Ethan one afternoon. He always stood up for people who couldn't defend themselves. He would have been so proud of you. Aunt Isla says the same thing, Ethan says seriously. She says Papa was a hero. He was, and so was your mama. They both fought to protect the pack, to keep everyone safe. Will I be a hero when I grow up? You can be whatever you want to be. Hero, scholar, artist, whatever makes you happy. Donovan ruffles his hair. You don't have to be anything except yourself. I watch from the doorway, my heart full. This is what Ethan deserves. A family. Someone to teach him about his heritage. Someone to love him unconditionally. Donovan catches me watching. His amber eyes meet mine. Thank you, he mouths again, like he does every day. And every day I nod, because what else can I do? I love this child, would die for him, but he needs more than I can give him. He needs his uncle, his family, his rightful place, even if it breaks my heart. That evening, after Ethan is asleep, Donovan finds me on the roof. I come up here sometimes, needing air and space to think. You're avoiding me, he says, settling beside me on the ledge. No, you are. You've been distant for days. His eyes search my face. Why? Because I'm trying to prepare myself. For what? For losing him. My voice breaks. For the moment when you take back your throne and Ethan goes to live in the palace and I go back to my factory job and my low-town apartment. Is that what you think will happen? Isn't it? You're his family. You're the king. I'm nobody. An Omega who happened to be in the right place to take care of him when there was no one else. You're not nobody. Donovan shifts closer. You're the woman who sacrificed everything to keep my nephew safe, who gave up your home, your job, your future, all to protect a child who wasn't even yours. I love him. That's not a sacrifice. It is, and it's the greatest gift you could have given me, given my family. He takes my hand. Isla, when I take back my throne, Ethan will live in the palace, but so will you. I blink. What? You're his family. the only mother he's ever known. I'm not taking that away from him or from you. But I'm just, you're everything to him. And he pauses. You're becoming important to me too. My heart skips. Donovan, I've been watching you these past 2 weeks. The way you care for him, the way you sacrifice, the way you put everyone else first even when you're exhausted and hurting. His thumb brushes across my knuckles. You're remarkable, Isla, and I'd be a fool to let you go. I don't understand what you're saying. I'm saying, he takes a deep breath, when I take back the throne, I want you beside me, not just as Ethan's caretaker, but as my queen. The world stops. That's impossible. You barely know me, and I'm an omega, a nobody from the slums. Queens come from noble families, from political alliances. Queens come from wherever I say they come from. I'm the king. A slight smile. And I don't want a political alliance. I want someone who understands sacrifice, who knows what it means to fight for the people who can't fight for themselves, someone who's already proven she'll put the pack's needs above her own. You want me because I'm useful. I want you because you're good and brave, and you make Ethan happy, and he cups my face gently. Because when I look at you, I see someone worth fighting for, someone worth building a future with. Tears blur my vision. This is insane. Maybe, but I've spent 3 years in a prison cell, dreaming of the day I could come home. And when I finally escaped, the first thing I found was you, protecting my nephew, giving him the childhood I couldn't. His eyes are intense. That feels like fate to me. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it. Say you won't disappear back to Lowtown the moment this is over. Say you'll give me a chance to prove I'm serious. I look at this man, this Alpha King, who was supposed to be dead, who came back from 3 years of captivity and immediately started fighting for his people, who looks at me like I'm something precious instead of something disposable. Okay, I whisper. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. He leans in, his forehead touching mine. Thank you for everything, for Ethan, for being the person you are. We sit there in silence, watching the city lights flicker in the distance, and for the first time in 3 years, I let myself hope. Maybe there's a future for me after all. Maybe I'm not just surviving anymore. Maybe I'm finally allowed to live. 1 month later, the evidence against Victor is damning. Donovan and his loyalists have gathered documents, witness testimony, and financial records proving corruption, embezzlement, and abuse of power. It's time to make the move. The council meets tomorrow, Donovan says during the strategy session. We present everything then, force them to acknowledge Victor's crimes. What if they refuse? Kira asks. Then we take it to the people. Public protest, civil disobedience, make it impossible for Victor to maintain control. That could turn violent, Mikhail warns. I know, but we'll do everything we can to avoid bloodshed. Donovan's expression is grim. The pack has suffered enough. I won't add to their pain if I can help it. After the meeting, I find Ethan in his room. He's drawing, something Kira taught him. Crude pictures of wolves and castles and families. What are you drawing, little wolf? A castle. This is where we're going to live when Uncle Donovan is king again. He points to stick figures. That's you, and that's me, and that's Uncle Donovan. We're a family. My throat tightens. You want us all to live together? Yes. Uncle Donovan said we could. He said you're going to be the queen, and I'm going to be the He struggles with the word. The heir? Yes, the heir. That means I'm important. But you're important too. Uncle Donovan says, you're the most important because you saved me. I just did what anyone would do. No. He sets down his crayon and looks at me seriously. Mrs. Chen said most people wouldn't. She said you gave up everything to keep me safe. That makes you a hero. I pull him into a hug. You're the hero, sweetheart. You're brave and strong and so good. Can I tell you a secret? He whispers. Of course. I heard Uncle Donovan talking to Mikhail. He said he loves you. Does that mean you're going to get married? My heart stops. He said what? He said he loves you. And Mikhail laughed and said it was about time because everyone can see how Uncle Donovan looks at you. Ethan pulls back. So are you getting married? I don't know, sweetheart. That's complicated adult stuff. I hope you do. Then you'd really be my family, forever. After I put Ethan to bed, I find Donovan on the roof again. Our spot. You told Mikhail you love me, I say without preamble. He turns, surprise crossing his face. Then resignation. Ethan overheard. Yes. And now you're angry. No, I'm confused. We've known each other for a month. How can you possibly love you? He steps closer. Because I've watched you for a month. Seen how you sacrifice. How you care. How you put everyone else first, even when you're exhausted. How you light up when Ethan laughs. How you cry when you think no one's watching because you're so tired and scared, but you keep going anyway. That doesn't mean, it means everything. His hands frame my face. Isla, I've known. Noble women, warriors, diplomats, people who were bred for power in politics, and none of them had half the strength you have. None of them would have done what you did. You gave up everything. Your home, your job, your future, all to protect a child who wasn't yours, a child you could have abandoned at any point. His eyes are intense. That's not just kindness. That's love, pure, selfless love, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Tears stream down my face. I don't know how to be a queen. Neither do I, but we'll figure it out together. He kisses my forehead. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm just asking you to be you. The woman who saved my nephew. The woman who's teaching me how to be human again after 3 years of captivity. The woman I'm falling more in love with every day. This is crazy. Probably. But after 3 years in hell, I've learned life's too short for caution. I want you, Isla. I want to build a future with you. I want to give Ethan the family he deserves. His voice breaks. I want to stop being alone. I look at this powerful, broken, beautiful man, this alpha king who survived captivity and came home to fight for his people, who sees value in me, who wants me not for political gain, but just for who I am. I love you too, I whisper. I think I have since the moment you caught me in the street, since you looked at me and asked, who are you? Like my answer actually mattered. It did matter. You matter more than you know. He kisses me then, gentle, sweet, full of promise. And for the first time in years, I let myself believe in happy endings. The council hearing. The council chamber is packed. Every alpha on the council is present, city officials, pack leaders, and in the back, common wolves who came to witness history. Victor sits at the head of the table looking smug. He thinks he's won, thinks Donovan is still dead and his power is secure. He's wrong. Donovan enters through the main doors, flanked by Mikhail and his loyal guards. The room erupts, gasps, shouts, chairs scraping as people leap to their feet. That's impossible. Victor goes pale. You're dead. The council declared. The council was misinformed. Donovan's voice carries across the chamber, cold, authoritative. I was captured and held prisoner in the Northlands for 3 years. I escaped, and I've returned to reclaim what's mine. You can't just waltz in here, and I can. I'm the rightful Alpha King, and you... Donovan's eyes narrow. You're the regent who's been destroying my pack in my absence. I've been leading, keeping order. You should be thanking me. For what? For raising taxes on the poor? For cutting support for widows and orphans? For taking children from their families? Donovan slams a folder on the table. We have evidence, documented proof of your corruption embezzlement, and abuse of power. That's fabricated. Lies from traitors trying to undermine. Then explain these. Mikhail spreads financial records across the table. Your personal accounts, showing embezzled funds, bribes from criminal organizations, payments for illegal activities. Council members lean forward, examining the documents. Their expressions shift from shock to disgust. This can't be real, one murmurs. It's very real. Kira steps forward with more evidence. We also have testimony from citizens, families whose children were taken, workers forced into unpaid labor, business owners paying protection money to avoid harassment. You can't prove, we can prove everything. Donovan's voice drops dangerously. You thought I was dead, thought you could do whatever you wanted. But I'm here, and I'm taking back my kingdom. The council won't allow this. I have support. Do you? Donovan looks at the assembled alphas. Who here supports Victor Hale's continued regency? Silence. Not a single hand raises. Victor looks around, panic growing. You're all traitors, cowards. You'll do nothing. The head council member, Alpha Magnus, stands. Victor Hale, in light of this evidence, you are hereby stripped of your regency and remanded to custody pending full investigation. No, you can't. Guards move forward. Victor tries to run, but they catch him easily. As they drag him away, he shouts threats and accusations. But no one listens. It's over. Alpha Magnus turns to Donovan. Your Majesty, the council formally recognizes your return and reinstates you as Alpha King of the Ashmore Pack. The chamber erupts in applause. Cheers, howls of celebration. Donovan doesn't smile, just nods gravely. Thank you. I'll do everything in my power to repair the damage that's been done, to restore our pack to what it once was. There's one more matter, Magnus says, the succession. You have no children, no mate in the event of your death. I have an heir. Donovan gestures, and Mikhail brings Ethan forward. Ethan looks so small in the massive chamber, but he holds his head high, those distinctive amber eyes scanning the crowd. This is Ethan Ashmore, my nephew, son of my brother Marcus, who died in the war. He is my heir and next in line for the throne. The council members stare. They see the eyes, the unmistakable bloodline. He's so young, one says. He's the true heir, and he'll be raised and protected. I'll make sure of it. Donovan places a hand on Ethan's shoulder until he's old enough to make his own choices about his future. And who will help raise him? A child heir needs proper guidance. He'll have the best guidance possible. Donovan looks at me. My heart pounds as he extends his hand. I take it. Let him pull me forward to stand beside him and Ethan. This is Isla Greywood. She's been raising Ethan since my brother's death, kept him safe, fed and loved during the worst times our pack has faced. She sacrificed everything to protect him when no one else would. The council members study me. I feel their judgment. I'm nobody, an Omega from the slums in a worn dress. She's also my mate. Donovan's voice is firm. I'm formally claiming her before this council and asking for recognition of our bond. Gasps, whispers. Your Majesty, Magnus says carefully. With all due respect, perhaps you should take time to consider. I've had 3 years in a prison cell to consider what matters. And she matters. More than bloodlines or politics or anything else. He looks at me. Isla Greywood, will you accept me as your mate? Will you stand beside me as queen and help me rebuild what's been broken? Every eye is on me. I should say no, should step back. I'm not qualified for this, not prepared. But when I look at Donovan, at this good, strong, broken man who sees value in me, I know there's only one answer. Yes, I accept you. I'll stand beside you. Always. He kisses me, right there in the council chamber in front of everyone. And when we break apart, the room erupts again, this time in celebration. Ethan tugs on my dress. Does this mean you're really going to be the queen? I guess it does, little wolf. Good. He throws his arms around both of us. Now we're really a family. And standing there, wrapped in the embrace of the man I love and the child I'd die for, I realize he's right. We're a family, not by blood, but by choice, by sacrifice, by love. And that's stronger than any bloodline. 6 months later, the palace is slowly being restored. Victor's corruption ran deep. It'll take years to undo all the damage. But we're making progress. Tax reforms to ease the burden on the poor, support programs for widows and orphans, jobs programs, education initiatives. Donovan works tirelessly, sometimes 16-hour days, rebuilding, reforming, healing. And I work beside him. It's strange being queen. I'm still learning, still making mistakes, but the people are patient. They see how hard we're trying, how much we care, and slowly the pack is healing. Mama? Ethan's voice pulls me from my thoughts. I smile. He started calling me Mama instead of Aunt Isla. It melts my heart every time. Yes, sweetheart? Can we go to the gardens? I want to show you something. Of course. We walk through the palace gardens, once overgrown and neglected, now carefully restored. Ethan leads me to a small tree we planted together last month. Look, it's growing. He points to tiny new leaves. It is. You did such a good job taking care of it. Papa would be proud, right? That I'm taking care of something? Your papa would be so proud of you. Everything about you. I kneel beside him. You're kind, brave, and smart, just like he was. And you're the best mama ever. He hugs me tight. I'm glad Uncle Donovan found you. I'm glad you're my family. Me too, little wolf, me too. Donovan finds us there an hour later. He shed his formal jacket, looking tired but content. How are my favorite people? Good. Look at our tree. Ethan runs to show him the new growth. Donovan examines it seriously. Excellent work. A strong tree, well cared for. Your papa would be proud. After Ethan scampers off to explore more of the garden, Donovan pulls me close. You look happy, he observes. I am. For the first time in years, I'm really happy. I lean into him. Thank you. For this, for us, for giving me a future I never thought I'd have. Thank you for being you, for saving Ethan, for saving me. He kisses my temple. I have something to tell you. What? The healer confirmed it this morning. You're pregnant. The world stops. What? About 6 weeks along. His eyes are soft. We're having a baby, Isla. Tears blur my vision. You're going to be a mother. Again, officially this time. He places his hand on my still flat belly. Our child, Ethan's sibling. I'm crying now. Happy tears, overwhelmed tears. Ethan's going to be so excited. Should we tell him now? Yes, let's. I stop. Wait. Are you happy? I know this is fast and we've only been married for 3 months and Isla, he cups my face. I'm ecstatic. Terrified, but ecstatic. Another child, another chance to build the family I lost with the woman I love more than anything. I love you too, so much. We tell Ethan that evening. He's thrilled. A baby! I'm going to be a big brother. He spins in circles. Can I teach them things like how to take care of trees? Of course you can, Donovan says. You'll be the best big brother. That night, after Ethan is asleep, Donovan and I stand on our balcony overlooking the city. Look how far we've come, I say softly. 6 months ago, I was scraping by in the slums. Now I'm here with you, carrying your child, raising Ethan. It feels like a dream. It's real, and it's just the beginning. He wraps his arms around me from behind, his hand resting on my belly. We're going to build something beautiful, a pack that takes care of everyone, a kingdom where no child goes hungry, a future worth fighting for. Together, always together. I leaned back against his chest, watching the city lights twinkle in the distance. I was raising his orphaned nephew alone in the slums until the war hero Alpha King returned and saw the child's eyes. And in that moment of recognition, everything changed. My life, his life, Ethan's life. We became a family, not perfect, still healing, still learning, but together. And that's all that matters. 5 years later, final epilogue. The coronation ceremony is beautiful. Ethan stands at the center of the platform, looking impossibly grown up in his formal robes. At 9 years old, he's being formally recognized as crown prince and heir to the throne. He's nervous. I can see it in the way he fidgets, but he stands tall, confident. Beside me, our daughter Mira bounces excitedly. At 4 years old, she's the image of both of us. Dark hair like mine, amber eyes like her father's. When is it my turn? She whispers loudly. Shh. This is Ethan's special day. But I want a crown too. Donovan leans down. You'll get your turn when you're older, little star. For now, let's celebrate your brother. The ceremony concludes. Ethan is now officially Crown Prince Ethan Ashmore, heir to the throne and future king. The crowd erupts in cheers. I watch him accept their acclaim with grace and humility, so different from the scared, hungry 4-year-old I found all those years ago. He's thriving, excelling in his studies, training with the warriors, learning diplomacy and leadership. He's going to be an amazing king someday. After the ceremony, we gather for a private family celebration. Just us, Mikhail, Kira, and a few close friends. Speech, someone calls out. Ethan groans but stands. I'm not good at speeches. You'll be fine, I encourage. He takes a breath. I just want to say thank you to all of you, but especially to Mama and Papa. He looks at us. You didn't have to save me. Mama, you could have given me to an orphanage when my parents died. Papa, you could have left me with someone else when you came back, but you didn't. You chose me. You made me part of your family, and His voice cracks. I love you both so much. Thank you for giving me a home. I'm crying. Donovan's eyes are wet too. We love you, Ethan, Donovan says. Always have. Always will. You're our son, I add, in every way that matters. Blood doesn't make family. Love does. And we love you more than anything. Later, after the children are asleep, Donovan and I walk through the palace gardens, our special place. Can you believe how far we've come? I ask. Sometimes it still feels surreal. Like, I'll wake up and be back in that prison cell. Or you'll wake up in that low-town apartment. But we won't. This is real. Our family, our life, all of it. He pulls me close. I found you on the worst day of my life. The day I came home and realized how much had been lost. But finding you, finding Ethan, it gave me hope, reminded me what I was fighting for. We found each other and built something beautiful. The most beautiful thing. He kisses me softly. I love you, Isla, my queen, my mate, my everything. I love you too, always. We stand there under the stars, wrapped in each other's arms. Two broken people who found healing together. A lost king who came home, a desperate Omega who refused to give up, and a child who brought us together, our family, our kingdom, our future. All because 5 years ago in a crowded street, an Alpha King saw a child's eyes and recognized his bloodline. And in that moment of recognition, everything changed. Forever. The end. That's it. You've reached the end of this journey. But your next obsession is just one click away. Subscribe immediately because you need every story we create in your life.